The epic horror series from is the ultimate unwrap present, as you try to guess what's in the box. The same applies to this show, as you try to guess what new mystery will be unveiled in the next episode. Which leads us into the next big question and mystery of this show. It comes from something that Victor was showing Ethan in episode 4. That would be the faraway tree that Victor says he doesn't know what the tree really is. But what he does know is that these trees are all over the place, and that they can take you anywhere. Okay. Wow. A tree that can transport you anywhere. That may sound good on the surface, but you may change your mind after I explain some of the consequences you may face after entering the tree. From the research I did, things may not be so innocent as how Victor was betraying it. So, that brings us to our next big question. What is a faraway tree? To be honest, as I was doing my research, I found it very difficult to find anything about a faraway tree. I thought by doing some basic website research I could find something that references a tree that has portal-like powers, but nothing popped up on the surface. I continued to do my research, and every time I came across this one children's story called The Faraway Tree. At first I didn't think much of it. I thought it was a silly story for kids. But as I examined this so-called children's fairy tale more closely, I realized things are not always what they appear to be. So in order to answer the question about what the faraway tree is in the show, we must open a children's book from the 1930s, and what is revealed inside will amaze you. Let's begin. The Faraway Tree is a series of popular novels for children by British author Enid Blyton. The series ran from 1939 to 1951 with titles like The Enchanted Wood, Magic Faraway Tree, The Folk of the Faraway Tree, and Up the Faraway Tree. Here's the basic premise of some of the stories of this series. The stories take place in an enchanted forest in which a gigantic magical tree grows, the eponymous Faraway Tree. The tree is so tall that its topmost branches reach into the clouds, and it is wide enough to contain small houses carved into its trunk. The wood and the tree are discovered by 3 children named Joe, Beth, and Franny. Okay. So far so good. Sounds like we're getting close to an answer. Not so fast, because things are about to change and get pretty dark in this children's story. It's what happens to the children, and the consequences they face as they explore the faraway tree that may shine light on the townspeople in the TV series. From Let's Continue. When the children climb the faraway tree, they discover it is inhabited by different creatures and races, including the Saucepan Man and the Angry Pixie. Okay. Now things are starting to get interesting. Creatures are now involved. But it is what happens next that surprised me. At the very top of the tree, they discover a ladder which leads them to a special land. This land is different on each visit, because each place moves on from the top of the tree to make way for a new land. The children are free to come and go, but they must leave before the land moves on, or they will be stuck there until that same land returns to the faraway tree. Wow. Things are now starting to really make sense. In this special land, if they don't leave in time, they get stuck. That sounds familiar. And plus, from what we're reading, the land is always changing and moving around. This also would explain why people from different parts of the country are pulled into this world that happened to cross the opening. Let's conclude this children's story by showing just how dangerous these lands could be. It goes on to say one of the children got stuck in one of these lands where they faced awful things. This next part is a quote from the author. She says the lands at the top of the tree are sometimes extremely unpleasant, unquote. So, is this what's happening to the people in this town? Are they stuck in one of these lands? And to make matters worse, they're stuck in a land that is extremely unpleasant with creatures that are malicious and vicious. It seems to be their only means to escape is to wait for a certain land to come back. I'm guessing they're talking about the original place they entered. Wow. It's kind of mind-blowing. I wonder, is this where they're going with this story? And plus, the connection between what Victor says about the faraway tree and Enid Blyton's story seems to be more than just a coincidence. So, tell me what you think about the story of the faraway tree, and do you think there's a connection? Remember, I'm guessing what I think it is, and if you throw your opinion in, hey, that only makes it all the better. Thanks for watching.